Hey, good evening, friends. I'm Rahul Agarwal. I'm the founder of Ideal Insurance, and I'm also a member of Ascent Alchemist Group. And I'm glad to be here. And we also have a very distinguished speaker with us, Mr. Srinivasan from the CFO Bridge. We will be discussing about the key takeaways from the 2021 budget from an SME perspective. So, welcome everyone. Welcome, Srinivasan, sir.
Thank you.
Glad to be here. So, without wasting any more time, sir, why don't we get right away to the topic? And I would like you to start when on why SME is important in this budget, especially during the pandemic time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, see, there is a very good realization from this government that SMEs are, the backbone of any economy. For that matter, even here also, they have the full understanding. And this budget has actually brought it's no longer just a statement of intent. They have done a lot of things. And some things are stated in the budget, some things are actually acted upon. So it may be good to understand, what are the things that, are addressing the basic concerns of the SMEs, right? So I will sort of take about two
So, sir,
three.
I have shortlisted some key things that I would want you to cover.
Yeah.
And if you have anything more apart from that, it will be great if you can share. So, why
Okay.
don't we start with the self-reliant fund? There's not much which was mentioned in the budget. If you can throw some light
Yeah.
on that.
So there is this National Small Industries Corporation. It's called NSIC. They have been authorized by Government of India to launch a venture capital fund. This is the first time Government of India is directly participating in a venture capital for the capital needs of SMEs, and this will be administered through another fund called SRI, Self Reliant India Fund. It's called Shri Fund. They have already floated this. They have got the permission for it, and in this budget they have actually said the 10,000 crores that is required to be the capital for the mother fund is available, and the mother will float four daughter funds, and they will raise another 40,000 crores, and then including this money, it will be a 50,000 crore fund, and this will be investing only in SMEs. The biggest issue for SMEs is, right, like, for example, raising funds which can go as the tier one capital and which can improve the debt equity ratio, and for them to improve their borrowing capacity and also act as a risk buffer. So these are the two major problems. If you really look at the SMEs, their balance sheet is not really very strong. In this will make their balance sheet really, really strong, and it can provide a new kind of funding which was never before available for SMEs for managing the growth. So this fund has been operationalized, and this will happen during the coming financial year. If not all the 50,000 crores, some money will definitely be available for them during this financial year, and balance will be available very soon. This is
I'm
a very
sure
good.
this will really help the SME sector revive, because a lot of small businesses have been affected.
Yeah.
So if you can just quickly answer on how people can access this fund or how they can reach out.
So, details are available on the website of NSIC. You can write to NSIC, and then they will clarify to you. Once the one, at least one of the daughter fund is established, they will start lending. I think it's only a matter of time. By March, April, they should be ready to start investing into the SMEs. It's quite
So,
possible.
sir, moving on to our next topic is, what are the incentives which have been proposed, linking to the production?
Yeah. So, India is now taking full advantage of the fact that there are globally favorable trade winds are flowing in towards India. So now India is becoming, and Atmanirbhar Bharat, Make in India, they are all very, very dear concepts to the present government. And then they are now, giving what is called production linked incentives, PLIs. And so many 13 sectors have been identified for all the sectors. Essentially, they are all about electronics, textiles, electric vehicle manufacturing. So all these kind of any new manufacturing, okay, it's all going to get incentives, and there are going to be productivity linked, production linked incentives. So this is going to be cash transfers for the companies, and 2 lakh crores has been set aside in the budget, which will be spent over the next 3-4 years time, and that's a lot of sum actually. And it's coming to us. And then textiles is going to become, they are going to form what is called some mega textile parks, which are globally competitive, 100% export oriented textile parks are going to get formed. And this is a very, very interesting news, and let's stay tuned for this. And I think, it is the best time for SME entrepreneurs to get into manufacturing or expanding into many areas with the government support. And, the globally, there are favorable trade winds which are blowing in favorable to the Indian manufacturing.
Well, coming on to what about startups? Now no country can prosper and grow without startups.
Yeah.
So what does the government propose for startups?
Absolutely. So India is the only country which is providing two kinds of incentive to startup. One is you can get a tax holiday for 3 years out of any 7 years, and for startups that are incorporated till now, or even if they are incorporated till 31st March 2022, they can still get this tax holiday. 3 out of any 7 years they can actually get the tax holiday, and this is a fantastic. You can choose what 3 years that you can actually pay. So there are loss making period, and then there are profit making period. You can choose accordingly. That is first thing. Second thing is, if anybody is investing in the capital of a startup, those investors will get a capital gain exemption. So this way, it will be easy for you to raise the angel funding or the early funding for
Okay.
startups. These two things, this also has been extended till 31st March 2022. So no other country is offering anywhere in the world. So in India, startups are, that way actually highly preferred, and there is a fantastic significant tax incentives are provided. There are many other small changes that they have done. They have created a one-person company. They have significantly liberalized the compliance requirements, that if the company has got capital of 2 crores and if the turnover is less than 10 crores, it does not require any compliance under the Companies Act, and it does not require tax audit up to 5 crores. So lot of other liberalizations have been done. So startup and small is beautiful. Small companies and startups are being highly encouraged in this budget, and there are quite a lot of provisions are available for simplification and liberalization of them.
So my last question would be on taxes, which is
Yeah.
always the most sought after topic in the budget. So anything on tax for the SMEs?
So, they haven't done anything specifically for taxation for SMEs because the government's, fiscal room is very, very limited. So they have done a lot of liberalization in terms of compliances, as I mentioned earlier. I think this is one of the key theme of compliances. And in fact, even accessing loan funds, for example, government has actually set aside 15,700 crores. This is the number quoted in the budget. It is double of the last year's number. So majority of the funding of the 15,000 crore, at least 10,000 crore is going towards providing the emergency credit for COVID. So every SME would have actually availed some emergency funding for COVID. There is more amount that the government is setting it up for guaranteeing the repayment of these loans. So the government is right now, instead of giving you a tax, they are giving you incentives. They are giving you access to equity capital easier. They are making access to debt capital easier. And then, doing the business is also getting easier. So you got funds, equity, debt, and then you got compliance easy, and you got manufacturing easy. So, I think you can't ask more than that. If there is some tax to be paid, let's pay that. I think that's very important. I think that is the way the budget has been oriented this year.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your wonderful insight. I think that was very crisp and concise.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, Asant.
Yes, thank you very much once again.